Now that we've discussed ad placements, let's talk about the overlaps that result from our campaigns being shown. Let's take, for example, the exact match for garlic press that we want to launch. And now we want to appear in top of search and rest of search, which is natural for a search query. Who can appear in top of search or rest of search for us? We can also have phrases and broad matches showing up for this query. We can also have keyword targeting, both close and loose, as well as all campaigns from product targeting. This includes SIN targeting, campaign targeting, and automatic ads with apps and complement. So, how do I categorize types of ads? My perspective's a bit unconventional, not the way we're used to seeing it in the ad manager. Yes, we have both automatic and manual campaigns. I divided them this way just to make it easier to understand. But in reality, all sponsored product campaigns on Amazon are divided into product targeting and keyword targeting, that is, search results and placements on our competitors' pages. And it doesn't matter whether the campaign's manual or automatic. We can compete with ourselves both in the search results and on ASIN placements. So for manual campaigns, what keyword targeting options do we have? Broad, phrase, and exact. For automatic campaigns, the close and loose targeting options also show ads based on keywords. Close targets relevant keywords, while loose targets irrelevant, semi-relevant, additional, or auxiliary keywords, but not the relevant ones. It should show for those. Now, regarding automatic subs and complements, they can compete for impressions by keyword both at the top and in the rest of search. So any subs campaign or complement campaign, both at the top and in the rest, can theoretically show ads for the keyword garlic press if we're selling or advertising a garlic press. If it has a higher bid, if Amazon prefers to place it in the results, then both subs and complements at the top and in the rest can also be shown for our keyword garlic press. Now let's look at manual campaigns, also with product targeting. We have targeting by ASIN and targeting by campaigns. And both of them, just like subs and complements, can also be shown through top and through rest for the keyword for the term garlic press. Moreover, for all product targeting campaigns, most likely we won't get any search term statistics. If close and loose give us search term statistics, and broad, phrase, and exact give us complete search term statistics, then with product targeting, 10 to 30% is the maximum. Often it's 10 to 15%, and I've often seen even less than a percent of search terms. So what does this mean? In the search terms report, we won't see that we had impressions and clicks for the keyword garlic press, even though the campaigns will keep competing. But if we take manual campaigns with keyword targeting, exact, phrase, and broad, everything is pretty straightforward. We can add negative keywords, but you need to be careful with negatives. If we're adding a negative phrase, then we need to add garlic press as a negative wherever there's targeting. If there's garlic or press, we also need to add those as negatives, because campaigns targeting those terms could still show ads for garlic press. Any broad campaign, if we're targeting garlic press, theoretically could show for the query garlic press, even if we're targeting a completely different term in broad. Everyone thinks that a keyword, or at least one word from the query, has to be present in broad for us to get a search term impression, but they forget that Amazon says the word should be included in the query, or any other related keyword. That is, any relevant word according to Amazon. So if Amazon wants to, it can charge you for a click on any word by showing it in broad, even if your target isn't garlic press. And a lot of Amazon gurus forget about this. And even though I talked about this in my course 4 years ago, many people still claim that Amazon only shows relevant queries in broad, or even irrelevant ones, just because they're relevant according to Amazon's own criteria. But in reality, for more than 5 or 6 years now, any relevant word, if not more, can show up in a broad campaign. So in any broad campaign, Garlic press should also be added as a negative keyword so it doesn't compete with our exact campaign. Close campaigns, any close campaign, since they show ads for any relevant keywords, also needs to have negative keywords added in the same way. In theory, a directly relevant query shouldn't show up in loose either, but often, due to indexing errors, directly relevant queries still slip through in loose campaigns. That's why you also need to add negative keywords here, and just in case, keep an eye on your bid. And now, look, we still have campaigns that continue to compete with our exact match for impressions and can outbid it for impressions while not giving us any statistics. We wonder, why don't we have any clicks or impressions for garlic press? Because our product targeting campaigns for the keyword garlic press are showing ads, but we don't have any statistics, so we don't even know that we're showing up for garlic press. We're converting poorly because our ads are showing up in the wrong places and our organic ranking for garlic press is dropping. Even though we're not even advertising, we can't figure out why this is happening because our product targeting campaigns are killing our organic rankings. What should we do? Should we add garlic press as a negative keyword in these campaigns? We can add it, but in 90% of cases, this negative targeting won't work because Amazon doesn't provide search terms or statistics. Negative targeting just doesn't work the same way. That's why we need to use negative targeting by isolating the placement. So, the placements in our product targeting campaigns are ASIN targeting, campaign targeting, automatic campaigns, substitutes, and complements. Our top of search and rest of search placements need to be isolated, meaning there shouldn't be any impressions going to them. Or we need to make sure that the bids in all our product targeting campaigns, that is, in automatic campaigns, substitutes and complements, ASIN product targeting, and subcampaigns, including category subcampaigns, the bid for each top of search and each rest of search is lower than the bid in our exact match campaign. And only in this case will we be able to build a system where all other campaigns don't compete with us for impressions on the exact match, on the keyword. So why is exact match actually such a complicated thing? Because it seems very simple. We have full control. We show up only for this keyword, including with prepositions and articles. It seems like there's nothing complicated, but in reality, we only have the illusion of full control. In fact, Amazon doesn't give us any control. Because if we don't set up the bidding system correctly, if we don't set up cross negatives properly, most of our campaigns end up competing with our exact match for impressions. And we might see our ads being displayed, but they're not actually our exact match. And we look and see that we only have 100 or 200 impressions for the whole month. We see that the keyword is always running, and we can't figure out why there are so few impressions, why there are so few clicks. It's because our product targeting campaigns are competing. They're showing up for high-frequency keywords, and the bid there might be higher. We don't realize that we're competing with our own exact match campaign, and in this way, we're creating competition between our own campaigns. That's why you need to negative not only broad, phrase, and auto campaigns, but also isolate placements and monitor bids for each placement. If you have some ASIN targeting campaign, and you see that it's performing well, either at the top or in the rest, and you want to boost it, you set a certain multiplier for the sub-campaign for the top or for the rest. This can lead to your exact, as well as phrase and broad campaigns being turned off, because the traffic will shift to product targeting, both at the top and in the rest, to product targeting. But you won't get any statistics, you won't see these search terms in the search terms report, and you won't be able to tell by the word cluster what's underperforming and what needs to be negatived. And this can jeopardize both the overall performance of your account and your organic indexing. So any of our campaigns, LOS, subs, complements, campaign targeting, ASIN targeting, they can hurt your organic results if they show with very poor performance, with lower conversion rates. In addition to not seeing impressions and wasting money, your organic rankings will also collapse. This is often the answer to the question of why advertising isn't working and why my organic positions are getting worse, because you need to understand who is bidding on your keyword and which campaigns are running. And even if you go into the search terms report and see that there's only one exact match, don't forget that for subcategories, complements, campaign targeting, and ASIN targeting, Amazon won't give you those search terms for the keyword. You have about a 10 to 15% chance of getting them, and you can't see which campaigns were running for that query. So Amazon doesn't give you complete statistics, and Amazon doesn't let you add negative keywords in all campaigns for the terms you don't want to show up for. They leave these as big black holes where your budget just leaks away. This is often 60 to 70% of your total budget. It's an uncontrollable part that you can't add as a negative keyword and can't control. And Amazon spends your money uncontrollably without providing statistics. To prevent this and to develop exactly those campaigns you want when working with bids and keywords, you need to build exactly the kind of structure you see here in this video.